one of the things that one of our coaches, Tom, says is every business everywhere is what you know, not who you know. It's what you know first, and then who you know maybe can open some doors. But in the case of an actor, if you know, yeah, okay, you can know someone, maybe your uncle's a producer, or you get in with a writer or a director. But if your craft and your chops aren't there, you're quickly going to be exposed, and you're just going to end up burning that bridge where it's like, yeah, you got a gift of an opportunity dropped on your doorstep in the form of this personal relationship. But then when the time came and they shone the light on you and gave you the break and gave you the opportunity, you shit the bed because you didn't know what you were doing. Then you might as well have not known. It was actually worse. And sometimes that comes in with casting directors. You see a casting director too early before you know what you're doing. Is you can never get back a first impression. So all of a sudden you do this audition for this big casting director. You're like, oh, if I could just get in the door. Well, be very careful what you wish for, because some doors you want to make sure you're ready to walk through that door and be in that room before you get there. So just the idea is, and also the corollary to this idea is, no one's coming for you. No one's, there's nobody waiting around like, oh, who can I find in a coffee shop? That myth of being discovered in a coffee shop isn't really even a thing. Like, maybe there's a little bit of that on social media, like, oh, fuck, she's got 1 million followers on Instagram, so maybe we cash in on that. But even that's not going to carry you too long if you don't have the craft and the expertise and the know-how and how to actually break down a scene and tell a good story as an actor on stage. Or if it's theater, theater, you can have a great look, but if you don't have voice and speech command and command over your own body that you can project to the back row of a theater or physically endure 8 shows a week, then you're quickly going to be exposed as an imposter, and your imposter syndrome in that case is going to be real. So so the flip side, what's the real truth? Your career success is based on you, and it's based on your own training. It's about deciding what you want, going out there and fighting for what you want, and then making sure, where do you get the confidence to do that? You get it from competence, from training, and then you become unstoppable. And then knowing the right people, that's gravy on top of that. It's like, now you're ready to know those people. Whereas without the training and without your own personal belief and having your own mind right and all that kind of stuff, you meet the wrong people. Like, you meet the right person too early, and that relationship was meaningless. Same as with personal relationships. People can sometimes remember, like, oh man, like, if only I was more mature when I met that one person, then we would have had an amazing relationship. But I wasn't a fully formed human being myself, so I didn't realize how amazing they were. And it didn't work out. Like, again, the parallels between acting and human life in general are amazing. So your career success is not about who you know. So stop thinking it's like, oh, if only they would just give me a chance, or if only they would see me, or if only I could find an agent. It's just like in life, you're in charge. You're in the driver's seat. You are the writer, director, and producer of your own life and your own career. And so you got to take charge and just refuse to believe that it's something external out there. Something external can come to you, and yeah, that's great. That's extra. That's bonus. But it's got to start with you.
Yeah, this reminds me of I went to go see a talk with Sarah Kay of Kay and Lewis Casting, and I remember at the end, I went with a friend of mine, and we were standing off to the side talking as the line to Sarah Kay started forming. And I like to call this the thank you line, or you're the best line, because really it's actors getting maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute to say, oh my God, thank you so much. I loved everything about your talk. You're amazing. Please hire me. And that's really the subject line of what that line is, or like doing that after a show. That's all you're doing. Basically, you're doing a glorified audition for them. And I don't really like getting in that line. And I don't like, I think it's important to thank people and make sure that they have the that they are given gratitude for the thing that they're doing. But I don't like beating it over the head. Like, you know, when you
Yeah.
have 40 people coming up to you like, thank you, I learned so much. Oh my God, thank you, Lars. Oh my God, you're the best.
Right.
Thank you. It's
Right.
just like, okay, thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks.
Right.
And we
Well,
don't need to do that. And since like Sarah has been one of my biggest supporters since then. Like, I haven't been cast in anything that I have auditioned for, but you know what? I still am getting in the room with her. I'm still doing stuff like that. And like, it doesn't matter if you get in that thank you line or if you don't. Just keep going to do things and keep learning from those experiences. Sometimes it's not doing the thank you line can add to what you're already doing.
Right. And then they're like, who's that guy? Fuck, I wanted to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I think, I mean, that what you're describing is sort of actor neediness, like, which is repelling. You know, it's repelling in personal relationships. If you go on a date and you're like, someone says, oh, I love you so much. You're like, fuck, this is the first date. Like, we're meeting for coffee right now.
Or
Like,
just
whoa,
even being
whoa.
like going into an audition and cast me. And
Right.
it's like, I don't want to fucking
Yeah.
cast you.
Yeah. Hi. So nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, thank you for watching. Thank you for the opportunity. Like, there's a certain point where it becomes too much. And also that is one of the dangers about, if you're thinking it's external and it's other people, then when you finally do get that person, if something doesn't work out, then you're like, oh, well, that was my one shot. I met that one casting director and they didn't like me, or they didn't have me back, or I didn't book it. And then you think you're shattered inside. Well, it's because you have an external locus of control versus an internal locus of control, thinking, hey, my life and my career is up to me, nobody else. It's me. It's not anyone else. It's like, how can it be anyone? There's no casting director, agent, producer, director, unless you believe a single person can control your entire life. And that's a terrible, like, with the exception of you're in shackles and you've been locked in a box and you're literally being like taken prisoner by someone. No one else has control over your life except you.
And also, if this also puts things into perspective of you're welcome into rooms that you're already in, casting directors are in the same boats we are. They're pitching to producers and directors to be the casting director of the projects that they're on.
Right.
So they're doing the same thing we are, and they're just, they're in that same boat.
Right. And they're also humans just like we are too.
Exactly.
So